Well, if you have just joined us this morning, welcome to the LeMieux National Dressage Championships for 2022. Plenty of sport already underway here this morning. I'm Adam Cromarty, Bobby Hayler alongside me. Bobby, we're going to have a great day in the fan zone. Lots of guests to look forward to.
We are. It's very exciting. I always love putting people on the spot and getting to know everything about them. So, no, it's going to be a very good day. Lots of fun. So we hope all of you at home are tuned in, and everyone as well on the showground wants to come in and join in. And don't forget, they can ask questions, can't they, Adam?
They absolutely can, especially if you're watching on Facebook Live. We will be monitoring it. So don't forget, hit that share button. You can use the comments box below. Any questions you have, stick them in there. And I think we should probably introduce our first guest.
I don't know, maybe.
Well, Gemma Owen, it's great to have you with us here at the Dressage Championships. Let's get the elephant in the room out the way because we don't want to dwell on it. Love Island, you are just out. Tell us a bit about that and then we'll leave that alone and we'll get on with dressage.
So Love Island was an amazing experience. I mean, it was 10 weeks away. It was a long time, but yeah, it was incredible, surreal, still not properly sunk in. But getting back to the horses couldn't be quicker. Coming out and compete, watch Sarah compete, it's definitely a weird feeling. I'm itching to get back going, but yeah, no, it was a really good summer overall.
And for those that don't live in Planet Gemma, tell us who Sarah is.
So Sarah is my trainer. So she has been riding Sirius and training him while I've been away. So yeah.
Is this Sarah Higgins?
Sarah Higgins, yeah, I'm speaking like you know already. Yeah, so Sarah Higgins is my trainer, and she's been handing the reins.
And you've obviously known Gemma for a long time, and she went to Europeans, didn't she?
Yeah, so you did the Junior Europeans as well, and that was on Sirius Black, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I did the Junior Europeans on Sirius in Valencia in Spain, so that was incredible. That was my first Europeans, and as obviously everyone knows, that's like what you work for, and I've fallen short a few times. So to be able to get there, that was really incredible.
And he's an incredible horse. Tell us about his kind of background, how long you've known him, and that kind of process in training him up.
So I got Sirius when he was about 12. Bought him off Sonia Baines, who was my previous trainer. And yeah, I've had him for about 5 years. So he's getting on now. But the thing that drew me to Sirius was his temperament. I mean, he's the biggest gentle giant you'll ever meet. He is such an incredible horse. He's so loving, he's so caring, he just wants to please you all the time. So, although he's 17 too, he's an absolute monster for me. He's great. He's a really lovely horse. And
heading right back in time, how did you kind of get into the whole equestrian scene?
So I started riding when I was like 3 years old. You got a little Shetland pony, basically just a big dog. And just been riding really ever since, and going, through the levels. I did obviously a bit of everything when I was younger, a bit of jumping, and so then I focused properly on dressage when I was 9, and then obviously was selected for the GB pony team when I was 11. So it's just
never looked back.
No.
I mean, your dad's involved with horses as well. Tell us about that.
So my dad, he's got a racing stables in Malpas Manor House. He trains, I think, 130 horses. So it's a very big thing going on there. It's incredible facilities. So yeah, he's very much racing, and my mum's very much, I'll come with you to the dressage.
And what's it like having a dad that has some equestrian knowledge? Does he try and get involved at all in the dressage? That's got to be annoying sometimes.
He's quite good because he knows that. He knows he don't know that much about dressage. He would come and show his support, but he don't really try and give me too much advice because he probably knows that I'll be like, won't listen.
I mean, it's great to see some young riders coming through, isn't it? Because, I mean, you're still fairly young, Bobby, but you're getting a little bit old. So it's good to see these younger riders coming through and kind of promoting the sport as well.
Absolutely, it really is. And I think what I really want to talk to you about, obviously, you've got the lovely Sirius, and with Sarah. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with Sarah, because obviously whilst you were in Love Island, she was riding Sirius for you. She's here competing. So tell us a little bit about how that relationship works.
So me and Sarah go way back. I actually used to train with Sarah's mum, Pippa, when I was, I think, 8. And then I started training with Sarah when I was 13, 14. So me and Sarah have been close for a good few years now. And yeah, she's incredible. Sarah's one of them people. She's a friend as well as a trainer, which I think is really important. We can have a laugh. We can be serious. She can, tell me when I'm not doing something right. I think that's really important to having a trainer. But yeah, she's great, and I trust her completely with Sirius. And actually, been quite nice to see her getting on him and sort of been able to learn from it.
And doing it from an owner's side instead of a rider's side.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I was going to say, it must be quite difficult.
Weird. Yeah.
Like being here, seeing everybody, being
Yeah.
a part of it, but yet not riding. It must feel bizarre.
When I turned up yesterday and saw, Sarah tacking him up and getting him off the lorry, and I was like, well, that's supposed to be me on him. This is so weird sitting from an owner's point of view and not have and no control in your hands. So yeah, definitely a weird feeling, but it's been nice as well.
Is it quite difficult when you're sitting there because you know the test? So as she's riding through, you know the movements, you know what's coming next. Do you feel you're sort of almost riding it with her?
If you watch me whilst he's competing, you probably see me when he comes up to a change,
it's definitely the flying change movement.
Doing it for him, yeah.
And what's the kind of future for you? What do you want to do now? What's the big ambition?
So in terms of my riding, I'd love to sort of get back into it, and as soon as I can start training again, start getting out to some competitions. Obviously he's been training for this, so he's been based with Sarah. So bring him back home, get riding again, get competing again. I'd love to I don't know, just see where we can go. I'd like to get to another international in the next year or so. That's my sort of short-term goal. But yeah, we'll just have to see. It's obviously new world, lots of other things going on, so just see how it goes.
And with everything else that you do have going on, is it quite difficult then to kind of juggle a riding career? How are you going to manage that?
I think, it probably will be difficult, but I think if you want something to work, and then you can make the time for it. And I think being in the villa, I think it could have gone one of two ways for me. I think I could have been sort of forget the riding. I want to focus on this new life, but I think it's done the absolute opposite. And I've no way am I spending that amount of time away from horses again. I want to get back to it, and it's made me sort of more ambitious than ever, really.
Did you find the pressure you felt when you were in there is comparable with when you're going into the ring? Like, is it the same kind of techniques you use to manage mental health?
I think going into the villa, I think obviously it's a long time away from home, and I think you definitely do. Sort of, it is mentally challenging in there, but I think it's nothing that you can really compare to sport. It's two completely types of things.
Different worlds.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to check and see if we've got any comments on Facebook.
No worries.
So, whilst Adam's doing that,
that's your husband.
Wrong
your
one,
other husband.
Begins with A, too many A's. Is pretending secretly just Facebooking. Really, this is what happens right here. So let's talk about, obviously Sirius now is getting a little bit older, and at some point you're going to want to start looking for another horse. Now you've got the experience with Sirius. You know what you like. You know what you want to do in your future. Do you know what type of horse you want to look for?
I think ideally something a little bit smaller than Sirius. Yeah, maybe something a little small, compact, diddy, 16 hands or so, and something that's a bit more go-y. Let's say Sirius is a little bit on the lazy side, and he takes a lot of sort of to get going. So yeah, something a bit younger, something with still an amazing temperament, something that really wants to try. But something that's got a few gears as well, and willing to go forward and take you.
So we do have a question. First of all, hi to Laura McCall. She's watching. Karen Moncrief just joined. Jessica Williams. If you are watching, hit the share button. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments box below. But someone called Jessica's asking, what do you think about promoting dressage? Because obviously you've got your swimwear arranged now. You've just done Love Island, all that fun stuff. So you're kind of exposed to social media. How can we promote the sport more?
I don't know. I think with dressage, it's a unique sport that not that many people really know about. I think when you think of horse riding, I think you instantly think of show jumping or racing. So I think it's a sport that not many people have got much knowledge about. And I think I would love to sort of help promote that to a younger sort of audience and get a bit more awareness about the sport, because I don't think it's that recognised.
Do you think it has changed over the years? Do you think we are doing enough to make it kind of fresh and exciting?
I think definitely. I think the last few years, I think it has changed, and it is sort of younger people are more interested in it. So yeah, I think it's definitely on the way, but I think there's still obviously more that can be done.
And what do you think of that, Bobby? Because you've obviously been involved for a few more years than Gemma. Do you think it's changed over the years?
You're going to keep bringing up that age thing, aren't you? I mean, come on. I think, 2 years between us? It's not that bad. No, it's a lot. No, I think it is changing. The sport is modernising, and I think we can see that with the fact that the social media, a fan zone at nationals, it's changing in the fact that it's being shown more on the TV.
Yeah.
I also think it's really helpful now that the para dressage is always at the same venue now as the able-bodied dressage as well. And I think as well, you'll say that that's helping with the media side of things as well.
Sure, definitely, yeah.
And we have got an audience. Has anyone else got any questions out there that they want to ask? Anybody?
Everyone always looks so scared, don't they? They're like, uh-oh.
So when you leave here, I know you've got your kind of big plans, but the kind of baby steps to that, have you got any horses other than the one that Sarah's riding? Any young ones coming through?
I've got no young horses coming through. Sirius is my only horse going. So, I mean, it's obviously lovely that I can put all my time and effort into him, but obviously, as you know, it's a risk only having one horse competing at, at a high level. You can go out in the field and can get injured. So, yeah, I think definitely I'll be looking to maybe add something onto my team very soon. But for now, Sirius he's doing the job.
And when you do go horse shopping, what is it you look for in a horse? Is there any kind of breed lines that you follow, or what characteristics are you after?
Characteristics, I think I sort of touched on before. A horse that really wants to, try, wants to give. Something, as I said, a little bit smaller than Sirius would be ideal. But yeah, something really temperament is key, really. So I'm not really too fussed about the breeding side of things. Just whatever I get on and have that good connection with, and I think you can tell straight away when you got on a horse.
And this is the second year that the Nationals have been up here. What do you think of the event and the venue and all the stuff that's going on?
The event is absolutely incredible. I mean, it is so stunning, and yeah, really. And to just be, I think we're only an hour away as well. So to have an event like this on the doorstep, pretty much, it is incredible.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, and obviously, I was just touching on the fact that you have Sirius to ride and you haven't got any youngsters.
Yeah.
Obviously, being able to watch Sarah ride, that must be really, really helpful for you, watching her ride other horses. Is there any advice that you would give the younger generation coming up that want to follow in your footsteps, want to get to internationals, etc.? What piece of advice would you give them?
I think it's all about the team that you have around you. You need to support yourself with the most incredible people, whether that be family, friends, trainers, physios, vets, everything. I think the main thing is having a trainer that is there for you no matter what, that can have a laugh with you, can tell you when you're not having a good day, and just be brutally honest when it needs to be. I think that's the main thing.
Everyone always asks what's the best advice, but the harder question is what's the worst advice you've ever been given? Put you on the spot there.
Worst advice I've ever been given.
Hardest question to answer ever.
The worst advice. I don't know what the worst advice is.
Did you answer that question? What's the worst advice you've ever been given?
That's a hard one, because every piece of advice you learn
Yeah,
from.
you can get something
So even
from
if you
anything.
thought at that moment, I'm being clever here,
Yeah.
right?
Positivity.
Exactly. Even at that moment, you didn't think it was right. It turns out that you learned from it.
Yeah, exactly.
That was well said. Well done, Gemma. We did good there.
It's the hardest question. I think we should ask that to every person that comes up
Literally,
here
should we
today. I think so.
Put them
See
on the
if anyone
spot.
manages to answer it. Well, I think you've answered all our questions very well.
Perfect. Thank
And
you.
thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? Any last minute questions you want to ask? Anybody? Nobody. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you
good
for
luck, and
having me.
hopefully we'll see you back here next year, maybe in the ring as well.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Right. And if you are watching online, don't forget, plenty more still to enjoy from the fan zone. Some great guests coming up today.
There are some really good guests, which we're going to keep a secret, actually, and share as we go.
You haven't
I
forgotten,
think.
have you?
No, I haven't
Okay.
forgotten.
Excellent.
Dr. Di is next, though. That would be
Dr.
really
Di.
exciting. Dr. Di.
Dr. Di from Channel 5.
Yes, well, that would be very exciting.
Never mind Love Island. We're going to Channel 5 next. Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on,
This is
Channel 5.
His age group now. It's fine. Don't worry, Gemma. It's
Excited
totally
about
fine.
this. Yeah, so stay with us. More coming from the fan zone here at the LeMieux Dressage Championships.